Checking in now with our late news regular money man, Scott Phillips, Chief Investment Officer at Motley. Good evening to you, Scott. The Australian share market was largely flat today.
Tracy, good evening. It was really full of sound and fury signifying nothing. We had a decent gain from utilities, a bit of a drop, about 2/3% from consumer discretionary stocks. Everything else was in that really tight band. There wasn't much going on. At the end, the market closed roughly where it started.
All right, Scott, let's move on to Qantas, which is trying to win back travellers' trust. But that didn't stop profits from falling 13%.
Yeah, that's right. Look, I mean, they have a very difficult comparable period this time last year to try and measure against. That was the half of revenge travel, as they're calling it, when we all said, that's it, lockdowns are done, we're going somewhere, anywhere, just get me out of here. And so flights were through the roof, fares also through the roof. They're starting to come back slowly. Airfare's still way too high, of course. So it was a very tough act to follow. Of course, they need to work on their on-time performance, cancelled flights, and of course that ACCC inquiry hanging over their heads, or whether they cancelled flights, or booked flights, I should say, knowing they were going to be cancelled. Overall, a credible performance for Vanessa Hudson's first outing as CEO.
All right. We've seen some backlash today over a proposal to strip the Treasurer of the ability to overrule RBA decisions. Talk us through that.
Yeah, look, the Treasurer is currently allowed to, under the current legislation, overrule the RBA governor. Now, it hasn't happened in practice, but the power is there, for like the reserve power, if you want to call it that. The Treasurer can say, thanks, Governor, that's interesting, but I'd rather do something else. Now, that is, in theory, going to be removed. It was recommended to the Treasurer, and Jim Chalmers so far has accepted that decision, however, or that recommendation. However, former Treasurers and former RBA governors have come out today, two of each, saying, hey, not so sure about that. Maybe the Treasurer should keep that last right to overrule the governor should the need arise. We'll have to wait and see what the Treasurer does.
You'll see how that plays out. Scott, we've also seen news that Andrew Forrest has delivered a profit and dividend increase.
Massive too. A 41% increase in profit, $3.3 billion, if you don't mind. Twiggy and his now ex-wife Nicola Forrest are going to get a dividend of $1.2 billion. So they're going to be okay for a little while yet. Now, again, a little bit like Qantas, these levels of profit won't be maintained. The iron ore price has already fallen, but a bumper result for the last 6 months for Fortescue.
Well, they can enjoy that for now, can't they, Scott? Finally, what are the US futures pointing to?
That's a bit of a good news bulletin, Tracy. At the moment, at least in early futures trading, on the back of really strong growth from chipmaker Nvidia overnight last night, it looks like the market will open up there about 0.9% and should give us a nice lead when our market opens here tomorrow.
Scott, great to see you. Thank you so much.
You too. Thanks, Tracy.